Yo, what's up? You talking crazy? Let you see my ugly face. And I got my coffee with me. Yummy. How's everybody doing on this beautiful Saturday afternoon? Hope everybody's doing very well. I'm not going to keep y'all too long because I know you got better things to do on your Saturday than listen to an old man ramble. So I'm going to turn the camera away so you can see the beautiful view from my balcony, because this is the Balcony Chronicles. All right. Well, there's a lot going on and a lot to unpack. Because I was just thinking about something. I was just watching a live stream earlier this week where you have some bean-shitting Mexican woman. You were to see her full body, she looked like 10 pounds of shit in a 5-pound bag. You know, saying some crazy shit about black folks. And again, saying that black folks as a group where we are not the same. I'm not the same as some brother that went to Ivy Leagues, that's in the Jack and Jill Club, the Jack and Jill organization, the Blue League. I'm not one of those Southern bammers. I'm just an everyday working class city / country boy. Hasn't been married, have no intentions on getting married. Because of the female bullshit in this country. Alright? But we'll get to that later. But right now, let me talk about this bean-shitting, taco-eating bitch who happens to be a police officer saying something greasy on social media about black folks. Now, I didn't see the whole video. I only saw clips of it. But here's my thing nowadays with social media and the social media bullshit, where people just post anything online, just post videos online, including myself. Alright? I'm a part of that machine too. Y'all just don't know it. Everybody that has a YouTube account, y'all part of that machine. Y'all part of the machine, y'all part of the illusion. Because in real life, when you get off of social media and get into real life, life becomes it's a lot more complicated than you think. Yeah, it sounds simple, but it's a lot complicated. Apparently this bitch was relieved of her duties. I don't know if she got fired or anything like that. But here's one or two things that I'm thinking why she did it. Keep in mind, she's a female. And females do not like to work jobs, especially demanding jobs like being a police officer. I think she wanted to get fired. I think she wanted to get fired from her job. And I'll tell you why. Picking on black folks has always been, we've always been a scapegoat for white supremacy, for other groups of people. Right? She was probably wanted to do something else with her life. Probably wanted to do a YouTuber or a TikToker. Probably made some money off of her account and probably made a little bit more than what she was making. Getting up at 6 in the morning, go to roll call at 7. work a 12-hour shift dealing with idiots all day long. Okay? Now, who the fuck want to do that for a living without getting burned out? But I think at least she didn't want to work for the Houston Police Department. You know, knowing that some small hillbilly town police force in the middle of bumfuck Texas is willing to hire her. If she still wanted to become a police officer, still remain as a police officer, where she doesn't have to do much work. You know what they used to call other fellow police officers lumps or humps. Excuse me, humps. That's what she is a hump. She wanted to get paid for doing nothing. That's what it boils down to. It's a lot of work being a police officer in a big city. But see, when you go to these little towns, they can accept that. They can accept that racism bullshit. So I think that's what it is. That's one of my theories. Or she just didn't want to work. She didn't want to work. She didn't want to be a police officer at all. She just wanted to get fired. And just become a full-time YouTuber. And the community out in Houston should be upset. Black folks out there, the FBA should be upset about this. And they should do a full investigation of that department. They're not going to. They're just going to try to get rid of her. They're definitely going to get rid of her. And the cycle will continue. So there's nothing really to see here. White supremacy and these departments will continue to go on, but I don't think it's just a white supremacy thing. I think apparently she feels the same way about black folks. I mean, don't get me wrong. A lot of these shitting Mexicans, they have a little disdain for black folks. They do. Trust me when I tell you they do. All right? They're just a little bit upset because we're not involved in the protest against ICE, snatching them up, rounding them up, and sending them back where they came from. And believe me, I'm for all the bullshit will end when we get rid of these humps that come into our country, these lazy motherfuckers that like to come into our country. You know, build one retail store, which they allow them, or a restaurant, which the government allows them to open up. Okay? And they call it an tenement to working hard. When you get off the boat and you start becoming a millionaire, then you have a right to thumb your nose at black Americans, well, all Americans that are in this country, who 99% are working a job. 99% of us is working a job. We don't live the life of leisure. Nobody is living the life of leisure unless you're a lazy motherfucker living off of the system. If you manage to work so hard, get on the dole. I have relatives that lived on the dole for years. Till they got tired of it. They said, well, man, let me go ahead and get another job. Let me get a job so I can get some retirement, so I can go on about my business. That's what a relative of mine has done. Proud of her. I'm very proud of her. But that's just one example. That's just one example of a small success story. She didn't become a multi-millionaire. She didn't become a multi-billionaire. She didn't have a company or anything like that and became a millionaire. She worked a job. She got up off her ass, got a job, did a 9 to 5, reported to work at 9 o'clock on the dot, left at 5, and got a paycheck every 2 weeks. Just like every I'm doing, just like you are doing, just like everybody in this dang on country. All right. But as Black Americans, we should have our antennas up. There's a lot more to this. What this bitch is saying, why this bitch is put out, why that. But I think it's a lot more. I think it's a lot deeper than that. You know, saying some racist stuff, racist things. Now, don't get me wrong. Country that came through the legal way. There's no black-brown coalition. Everybody's out for themselves. Everybody out for their group. But little do they know, but even your group, even in your own group, they will turn on you. They will scam you. Okay? They will be the most abusive to you. But that's why I'm not on that African shit. I'm on that FDA, but I understand what it is. We have to get, I mean, think about it. Neely Phillips said it best that black folks should stay away. We should only come together unless it's a specific purpose. A specific purpose, and that will be productive. We shouldn't be coming together for no party. We should not be coming together to no barbecue. Anything insignificant unless there's something specific that needs to be done within our group. Okay? Don't get me wrong, I'm a big fan of Neely Phillips. Big fan. Well, not a fan. I'm a big admirer of his work. But I do have questions. But he's putting out the right information for black Americans. It's a blueprint. Claude Edison, another one, had laid out a blueprint for black folks. That man is almost 90 years old. He's lecturing black folks on economic preservation for our group. You know, artificial intelligence that's going on, that's just exploded in the last few years, and I'm slowly but surely getting the hang of it. But that's what black men, y'all need to go ahead and take those courses, man. Y'all need to learn. You need to be proficient in not only technology, programming, but artificial intelligence. But trades, man. That's where the jobs are. That's where the money is going to be in the future. It's still going to be a trade. There's still going to be a need for people out there in the trades that know how to fix boilers, that know how to do electrical work, plumbing, building, construction, home building, carpentry, general contracting. There's going to be a need for that, man. College, you're spending what, $100,000 a year? What is it now? What is it, $100,000, $200,000 for the life of going to a 4-year school now? A paper, a $50,000 a year job, entry-level job? If there is a job, or you might end up working at Starbucks with a student loans up your ass, taking a... Do you really want to go through that shit? And then you got Trump in office saying, hey. No. You took out this loan, you're going to have to pay this shit back. Figure it out. And a lot of y'all black women out there bragging about, hey, having 6-7 degrees with no job. A job paying $50,000 a year. And a house. Okay? But you have all these dang on bills. You have a student loan bill, car note bill, credit card bill, while making $50,000 a year at your punk ass job. Do you know the success rate of a business? Business where you have employees, motherfucker. 3 out of 5 businesses don't survive. And the 2 out of 5 that are surviving, they're just breaking even. They don't until after their 3rd or 4th year. And I know, I'm an accountant. So I should know this shit. I was gonna say we are doing better. We are doing better now that we've delineated from the rest of the group. Themselves as what, Jamaican, Trinidadian, Nigerian, Cameroon. That's who you are. That's who you are. That's who you are. That's where you were born. That's where you live. That's where you are. That's who you are. You're not one of us. You're not a brother of mine. We're not brothers. Not my sister. You're not my brother. Millennials ago, about the last millennium, well, the last 2 millennia, my ancestors were probably born here in this land. We're probably just migrated over from Africa, but we were here. My people were here. I can trace my side of the family back to 1811, and I'm still doing some digging. And my father, to my surprise, knowingly or unknowingly, was named after my great-great-great-grandfather. My father probably didn't know that. I don't think my grandmother knew that, or my grandparents knew that. The black FBA, my fellow FBAs out there, do your know who you are. Proud of it. Don't let no immigrant off the boat try to tell you you're less than because you were born here. You had ancestors that were enslaved, captured, and enslaved. Captured, not only enslaved, we were free, we thrived. White folks use white supremacy to take away what we built, destroyed cities where black folks were thriving, notably 100 years ago, most recently. And that wasn't that long ago when I was born. When I was born in '74, it wasn't that long ago when that happened. That was like 50 years ago when that happened, when I was born. And I didn't even know about it until I was in college. And sadly, I didn't know about Tulsa when I was not even in college. Back around 2000 or the 2010s, that's the only time I started being aware about Tulsa, Oklahoma. What happened? And I gotta make my way out there to Tulsa this fall. I gotta see Tulsa, Oklahoma, man. I gotta go out there, man, and see what's popping out there. Despite the issues that FDAs have, because believe me, it's not all. Look, I'm not saying all FDAs we're thriving. There are a few in our group that are committing crimes, that are doing some stupid shit. But most of us, when I was growing up, we would shun them. We wouldn't. Let me this way. If somebody in my family had a drug problem, ended up going to prison, going to jail, constantly going to jail. That was very shameful. We were shamed into it. We're like, hey man. Like for me, I have a zero tolerance towards people. You know, if you want something, you ask for it. But they come into my house and you start taking shit, whether it's a pen. You have no respect for my property. You have no respect for my property in my house. That's a character issue. I don't care if you go to my fridge, take beer, consume the beer in my house. I don't care about that. If you're family, go into my refrigerator. I don't give a fuck. Just make sure you don't take my last beer. Otherwise, I'm gonna whoop your ass. I'm gonna cuss you. Well, I ain't gonna whoop your ass. I'm just gonna cut you out. And have you buy me another beer. Buy me a case of beer. Learned that lesson a long time ago. You don't go into anybody's house without empty-handed. See, I don't really. When I was doing live streams, I don't talk about bitches anything like that. I don't talk about bitches or dating because look, I'm talking about two fellas about real shit that goes on in my life, your lives, the lives of everyday black men. I'm one of y'all. I'm the everyday black man. me, I'm not a multi-millionaire. I don't have properties all over the world. But at 52, I'm working on it. But I'm not there yet. I work a job just like y'all. I get up in the morning. I have a business. I go over the head to pay my rent. If you're doing that, you better stop. Stop that stupid shit. Out there, get a job, pushing out there, go out to Walmart, fill the application, and start pushing the shopping carts around. Start pushing shopping carts from the parking lot back into Walmart. Let's see how much time I got left here. Oh, shit. How you doing? Larissa Boston Global English, how you doing? All right. Well, listen, I'm gonna cut this short because I got shit to do today. But fellas, go out there, get that job, work until you become self-sufficient. All right. Well, listen, this is Talking Crazy 88, and I am out of here. And black folks, let's be careful out there. All right.